Welcome back to another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. My name is Jaime, and if you're new to the channel, what I like to do here is give my crazy thoughts and opinions, and they're very strange sometimes, on trending news topics around the globe. And like sometimes I can tie them to crazy conspiracies because my mind's tied and wired like that. So, if you'd like the channel and you like what the content, I would appreciate if you would like and subscribe. And with that said, it's time. Well, we got some crazy news going on the daily. Like I said, I could put one on every hour. I should start doing it because it's just popping off, So our president, got a lot of media crazy, backlash since the election till now he became the president. And so overseas, I guess he made some big deals that could be helping out the Americans over here. And I'm sure some people that don't like him are going to find a way to make it racist. But it could be some good things for America. I mean, what about I guess next year, supposedly we can get the World Cup coming. It could be some cool things for the economy. Maybe. But I guess he came back with some big checks. What'd be cool is since all that money they supposedly found with Doge and supposedly he just brought back a bunch of money again. If they just gave all the Americans just some money right now, we could probably all use it right now. I know all the prices are starting to go down, but we could probably all use a little money right now. I mean, it'd be pretty cool if you all can just stimulate us a little bit. Because you're just sitting here just talking about all this money we just made and all this money be found in fraud, and we just get to just look at it. That's kind of crazy. I don't know where that goose laugh came from, but I apologize. But anyways, yeah, they flash all this loot that they just saved and made. I would just like them to share a little bit, You don't got to support me full financially. I'm just asking for a little kickback, little breadcrumbs our way, And some crazy news also came throughout the news about former FBI Director James Comey made a social media post that went across the globe because he said he saw some random seashells in the sand and the beach. And they seem to have made the numbers 8647. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's a threat. It's a code. And it could be. But I mean, but also, it also could be a code that could mean something bad or negative to our current president. Also, random seashells don't just make number digits like that. If they did, you better go play the damn lottery. Because, man, hook me up. I need seashells. I need some lottery digits. Like I just said, I was just asking for some little stimulus. I could use lottery digits too. Seashells. But just going to randomly just make some numbers. I mean, you could see it sometimes in, a miraculous way. Be like, oh, that could be a number 7. And in your mind, you're making it a number 7 so damn hard. But this was 8, 6, 4, 7. Very clearly. And it wasn't natural. It wasn't some natural coral reef. Somebody made it. And then he put a post found this cool shell formation. He made that even made it worse, in my opinion. So remember where the World Economic Forum, they were about to be starting to control us like crazy. They gave us warnings they were going to lock us down, and then we got locked down, right? And everybody's like, it said in the website, and I was like, holy shit, it did, And then now it says they were going to attack the electric grid and shit like that. And it's a really good episode if you watch Candace Owens. She did a really cool episode on them talking about, they told us all these things ahead of time before they tried to do it. We were on the verge of being forced to go to the grocery store and not just buy eggs and milk, but bugs. They were promoting, they had Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, and now he's Dr. Doom or something. And they had him on his social media as ooh, mealworms and crickets are good. Trying to get kids to start eating bugs. It was all crazy. We were that close. And now, apparently, the head dude, Schwab dude, Klaus Schwab, is under investigation for spending some of that World Economic Forum money on his own giant mansions and stuff. It's kind of wild, and when they were telling us you will own nothing and be happy, they were all promoting that really hard. They were pushing that stuff pretty hard. It's kind of wild. And then just recently there was an interview on CNN they brought on Dillon. And oh my gosh, that was really awesome. It was really rare to see somebody go out there. It was kind of, risky because you never know. Comedians can be unpredictable sometimes, and maybe they could use these platforms to, take advantage and maybe get more exposure by doing something wild and outrageous, as comedians sometimes can do. But Tim Dillon doesn't really have that, in his bag. He's not really like known for doing that. And he went out there and did a really good interview, but it was really strange. Like, I don't even know who that. I never heard of this lady until I saw, because I don't really watch CNN too much. I don't really watch too much of the politic news unless like I see clips and I want to have fun and make fun of them, on here. But I never heard of her, and so I was like falling asleep. She was like, I don't know what she was like on Valiums or like some kind of like Xanax like protein shake, and she was like trying to ask some questions, and she was just like, "Oh, and were you friends with Rogan?" You know, and it was really strange because she kept asking every question like to him as if he was Rogan's like psychic medium, or like that dude that's famous on all the social medias right now. He's been like since I was a kid too, like when early YouTube 90s stuff, when they were like talking about all that Anunnaki stuff back on those videos, where the dude was all like, he tells you like, live life the right way, cards are coming, look out, that dude. So she kept asking him these questions like as so he could answer for Joe Rogan, and I got like it was like getting a little annoying. Like she was just like it was just weird. She was like he's not like his medium. He's not his psychic medium, or they're not like he should just three-weight him so you guys could just interview Joe Rogan. Everything was just like what would Rogan do? Like it was just wild. So I got a little clip of the interview, and I decided to share a little clip, and here you go. So, Joe Rogan? And you're friends with Joe Rogan? He's your actual friend? Yes. So, so you really do, like, think just the way Joe Rogan does? Like everything he thinks about? Like when he ejaculates inside COVID masks? Things like that. I am friends with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is my friend. So it's pretty interesting what's been going on lately. I feel like some of those people that were grasping onto power, you know, during the last administration, when a lot of stories have been coming out about maybe he really wasn't running the country because of his mental decline and things like that. Now there's a health diagnosis came out. My respects and condolences to their family. Hope everything he can recover and everything like that. And but a lot of stuff came out about his mental decline that people were supposedly recovering up. Also, that was coming across the news like we didn't see it. Like they were saying like as sharp as attack. And I guess a quote from the book, or I don't know if it was from this book, said something like he was one fall away from them putting him in a wheelchair, like in front of everybody, and that would have been really bad, But it still would have been better probably than Kamala, because I don't think nobody really liked her a lot. Like they liked her when when she was paying all of them and went into debt, all the celebrities, and backed her up. So, but I don't know. This is interesting. There was some, a few episodes back, I was a little nervous on some of these. Like, we better hold on. We just like she was crazy every second, and it seems to be turning weird, like because, our president right now is trying to talk about peace and stuff. Can he pull it off? Are we going to be at peace with other countries and everybody out there during his presidential terms? Because they say they don't want forever wars. I hope this happens. It could be really good for everybody around the world. Everybody could be, in good times where people just ain't everybody up everybody's butt and bothering everybody all the time. And it might be just good. It might be a little good for everybody. I would let me know in the comments what you think. And also, if you got anything you would like me to do an events on, go ahead and throw those in the comments as well. Or you can hit me at my social medias. Jaime Madrigal on Facebook, at the Real Jaime 1 on Instagram. And I believe it's at Meant to Vent podcast on TikTok. And it was some sports news. I guess Caitlin Clark, WNBA started, and it started off with a bang. Everybody's real hyped up to watch her play again. She's a real excited player, and she's lighting it up again. She did not disappoint since from the preseason to the season. She came out, went on fire. And everybody was real excited about that game one where she went against her rival Angel Reese. and there was a lot of, controversy or whatever side you're on. I love some basketball. I like some physical basketball. And she went to go, she did a nice hard foul, and they upgraded to a flagrant. And so that's where people are arguing about the flagrant. And, a hard foul is a hard foul, whether she got the flagrant or not. I mean, it was a good foul. Whether it was a flagrant or not, it was still a good basketball foul. But then my thing is, Angel Reese is a pretty good basketball player. A lot of people are making a lot of videos on clowning on her missing a lot of shots and things like that, And I feel like she's kind of like mentally got that Caitlyn girl in her mind so much. I feel like if maybe she can get her out of her mind, she might be able to play a little more ball. And she might get back to hooping, because I feel like Caitlyn Clark gets punched in the face, gets kicked or whatever in the private areas and don't even care. She just gets up and goes to the next play. And I feel like if Angel Reese could do something like that, it might help her game a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Well, my name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Vent to Vent Podcast News. Till next time, see ya.